Hi everyone, and welcome to my educational Muhammad Eel 2 channel. Today, we are going to go on an incredible journey. I mean, a journey into a world that is all around us and even inside of us, but is way too small to see with our own eyes. We're going to explore the fundamental building blocks of all living things.
So let me start by asking you a really simple question. What are you made of? Now, the answer to that is, well, it's pretty mind-boggling. You're not just one single thing. You're actually a massive, bustling community, a collection of individual lives all working together in almost perfect harmony.
That's right. The best way to think about what makes you, well, you, is as trillions of tiny, living cities. And we call these little cities cells. Each and every one of them is an absolute masterpiece of design and function.
Okay, so here's our plan for today's tour. First, we're going to figure out what a cell actually is. Then, we'll look at the two main types of these cellular cities. After that, we'll take a really detailed tour inside one of them, check out some cool features you only find in plant cells, and then we'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways.
So let's start with the absolute basics. What in the world is a cell? You can think of it as the most fundamental blueprint for life itself.
The official definition is that a cell is the smallest, most basic unit of an organism that can be considered alive. Nothing smaller than a cell is actually living. Every single living thing, from the tiniest little bacterium to the biggest blue whale, is made up of cells.
And what's really fascinating is that no matter what kind of cell we're talking about, they all share three common features. Every cell has a cell membrane. Think of it like the city's border or its security, controlling what gets in and out. Inside, there's the cytoplasm, which is this jelly-like stuff where all the action happens. And, most importantly, every cell has DNA. That's the genetic blueprint, the instruction manual for the whole operation.
Now, just like with our towns and cities, not all cells are built the same. There are really two major categories. You've got your simple, kind of rustic villages on one side, and then you have these vast, incredibly complex metropolises on the other.
So on one side, we have prokaryotic cells. These are these simple villages. They're pretty basic. Their DNA just kind of floats around inside, and they don't have any separate, specialized departments. Bacteria are the perfect example of this. But then you have the eukaryotic cells, the big metropolises. These guys are way more complex. They've got lots of internal structures called organelles, and crucially, they keep their precious DNA locked away safely in a central control center called the nucleus. The cells that make up plants and animals, yep, that includes us, are all eukaryotic.
All right, now for the really fun part. Let's step inside one of these complex city cells, a eukaryotic cell, and see how it all works.
But first, we need to know this word, organelle. It literally just means little organ. And honestly, that's the perfect way to think about it. Just like your body has organs, a heart, lungs, a stomach, a cell has organelles, and each one has a very specific job to do to keep the whole city up and running. And the most important organelle, the one in charge of everything, is the nucleus. This is the city's control center. It's City Hall. The nucleus holds all the DNA, the master blueprint that tells the cell everything it needs to do, from what to build to when to do it.
You can really see how all these organelles work together by looking at how a protein gets made. It's like a production line. First, the nucleus sends out instructions. These go to little factories called ribosomes, which build the proteins. The brand new proteins then travel along a network of highways called the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER for short. And finally, they arrive at the Golgi body, which is like the city's post office or packaging plant. It folds, customizes, and packages the proteins so they're ready to be used or shipped out. It's a perfect system.
Of course, a city needs more than just factories. It needs essential infrastructure, right? Well, cells have that too. They have mitochondria, which are the power plants, generating all the energy the cell needs to function. They have lysosomes, which are the sanitation department, the garbage collectors and recycling centers that break down waste. And then there's the cytoskeleton. This is like the city's internal steel frame, a whole network of fibers that gives the cell its shape and support.
Now, as amazing as animal cells are, plant cells have a few extra, special features that make their cities totally unique. They've got some specialized departments you just won't find in an animal cell.
And here's where you can see the key differences. Plant cells have a tough, rigid cell wall on the outside for extra support, almost like a big wall around the city. They also have chloroplasts. These are basically solar power plants that turn sunlight into energy. And they have a huge central vacuole, which is like a massive water storage tank in the middle of the city. But look closely.
both of them still have mitochondria. They both need those traditional power plants to keep the lights.
And you know, there are other special features out there too. Some cells have cilia, which are these tiny little hairs that move back and forth in waves to sweep things along, like the ones that keep your airways clean. Other cells might have a flagellum, which is a long tail they use to swim around. The only human cell that has one of those is a sperm cell.
Phew, we have covered a lot of ground on our tour today. So before we finish up, let's just do a quick recap of the most important things to remember.
So if you only remember a few things, make it these 5 points. 1. Every single cell has that membrane, cytoplasm, and DNA. 2. Eukaryotic cells like ours are the complex metropolises with a nucleus. 3. Prokaryotic cells are the simple villages and they don't have a nucleus. 4. Plant cells have those 3 special extras, the wall, chloroplasts, and that big vacuole. And 5. Don't forget, both plant and animal cells use mitochondria to power their city.
So, as we finish up, I want to leave you with this one thought. Right now, this very second, trillions of these tiny, living cities are working inside of you. They are building, communicating, generating power, and defending you. Every single one of your cells is a city, and together they build you. So, what amazing thing are your cities building today? Thanks for watching.